Nice.
Welcome to a new segment on Geographic National, Between a Globe and Mini Mugs. Today, we'll be talking about 6 of the wonders of the ancient world. Well, I mean, we already talked about Giza and it sucks anyway. The first of the wonders of the ancient world that we'll be talking about are the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Built within Nebuchadnezzar II's reign, they were humongous terraced gardens filled with extravagant plants and amazing water systems throughout the entire thing. They were never actually recorded in history, however, and were purely told as stories, so we don't actually know where they were, but people think that they were either in Nineveh or Babylon. But, you know, everyone's undecided still. But let's talk about why they were built. You see, Nebuchadnezzar's wife was getting really homesick and was all like,
I miss the mountains!
So, being that she really needed mountains for some reason, Nebuchadnezzar was all like, alright, let's just build some. Then, they ended up actually building the Hanging Gardens of Babylon.
And I want them in the sky!
I guess that works too. The next of the wonders of the ancient world that we'll discuss today is the statue of Zeus. This was located at Olympia in Greece and created in about 5th century BCE. It was made to commemorate Zeus, their chief god. Even though it had a lot of glory in the olden days,
Look out! I think Moto likes you. Here he comes.
I like 'em big, I like 'em chunky, I like 'em big, I like 'em lumpy.
here's what it actually looks like now. So pretty much, the people of Olympia were all just kind of like,
Zeus is pretty great!
and so some of the other ones were like, hey, we should build a statue.
That sounds great!
Exactly! So, they ended up building the statue entirely commemorating Zeus and all his achievements.
Yes!
Now, let's talk about the Temple of Artemis. Thank you. It was in Ephesus, a Greek colony in Asia, built around 550 BCE to give praise to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. It was an absolute unit of a temple, having to be supported by 127 60-foot tall columns. It was burnt down by a man named Herostratus, who was all just kind of like,
I want to be famous!
well, he was kind of banished from the records, and later on, they rebuilt the temple, which was eventually destroyed by the Goths. But they rebuilt it again regardless, which was then destroyed by an angry Christian mob. This is what it would look like now. Welcome back to another segment of what I like to call Midsen Tense. A little segment that I like to add in the middle of our Geographic National episodes. Today, I'm talking with a Mr. Michael Myers. So I heard that you recently went on a ski trip up north. How was, the weather there? Good snow? Good. I have a question. Do you always wear that mask? I'm sure it would, mess with, eating and drinking and stuff, like shower with it on and stuff like that. Do you shower with it on? Here, if you're feeling a little hoarse, you can take a drink if you need to. Yeah. I would take off the mask. Can we get him a towel real quick? Anyway, as we were saying, about that ski trip, I heard it was actually in northern Wisconsin. This has been an interview with Michael Myers. Next, let's discuss the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. It was built... Oh, thank you. Here you go. It was built at about 353 BCE by Artemista. She wanted to create a final resting place that is worthy enough for her husband, Molossus, hence why it's named a mausoleum. It was an incredibly large, multi-tiered mausoleum, ornately decorated with beautiful sculptures. Later on, however, it was destroyed by a series of earthquakes that laid it in ruin, until the Knights of St. John of Malta used them to build their castle at Bodrum. They can still be seen here today, actually, looking like this. Now let's discuss the Colossus of Rhodes. This was found on the island of Rhodes, and it was built in between 292 BCE to 280. It was a statue dedicated to the Greek god Helios, the patron god of Rhodes, after they defeated the invading army of Demetrius. It was a humongous statue of Helios. Helios, entirely made of bronze, just like the Statue of Liberty. However, after an earthquake in 226 BCE, the ruins remained as a tourist attraction for 800 years after it fell. However, the ruins were later sold to a Jewish merchant from Edessa in 654 BCE, who melted them down. The Lighthouse of Alexandria was actually found on the island of Pharos. It was built in 280 BCE. Thank you. And obviously, being that it's a lighthouse, it was built to signal in the ships from the sea. You see, at that point, they kind of needed a lighthouse, because whenever any boats would come to the dock, they would say,
Captain! We need a lighthouse!
Therefore, they built a lighthouse. About 440 feet tall, and on its top had a very large mirror that reflected the sun's rays by day and the light of a fire lit at the top at night. Many earthquakes actually badly damaged it after some time, and the ruins were eventually used to build the Egyptian fort Quate Bay, in which the ruins can still be found inside. According to many accounts, it was so beautiful that words were actually inadequate to describe its beauty. This concludes tonight's episode of Geographic Nationals Between a Globe and Many Mugs, with your boy, your host, Tyler Midsen. Have a good night. Basically, the people of Olympia were all just kind of like,
That sounds great!
wait,
No,
no, Ephesus in Greek. Start right next to the spider carcass. No, I didn't think you said air. I thought you said hair. Very top.
What did you just say?
Just wheezing on.
Did you just spit your coffee out? Yeah.
Loo, 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 loo. You're gonna throw all of them at once. That's my cheek. That's my feelings. Bring the...
I miss the mountains! No, you can't.
I went to take a sip and I see you and you're like...
Why Why is laughter like so contagious, bro? It's like sounds like we're all high and we're like having a conversation.
That's called
And we're
sleep
drinking coffee.
deprivation. Modern problems require modern solutions.
Dude, we get it out.
Got it.
Jabberdishi on the track.